This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, we now bring you a discussion on International Women's Day, Gender Equality and Women's Rights. The participants are Neera Mishra, expert on women issues, and Simran Sodhi, journalist.
Today we are discussing International Women's Day and the many achievements that have been made by women in India and globally we see in various sectors, whether it is the political section, the economic section or even soft power like Bollywood. We have seen women coming up the corporate ladder, and in almost every sector in India today we have women leaders and we have positive examples of women leadership. Neera, when you look at the changing scenario in India, and as I mentioned, whether it is the political scenario, it is the corporate sector, it is a cultural context, how do you look at women emerging at the top of their game in almost every sector today?
Even while after 47 when we got independence, we all know a lot of women took part in the independence struggle. So in India, per se, women have been pretty much integral to any movement that is happening, whether it is administrative, whether it is government, whether it is political, etc. There was a time when we were not given that prominence, but in the first Constituent Assembly, when they were making the parliament, there were almost 9-10 women, prominent women who took part in framing of the Constitution. From then till today, what we see, the changes in the last, say, about 2-3 decades that has happened, especially in the last 5-6 years, phenomenal schemes by the government on a very proactive way have promoted this gender parity. So we see schemes like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. We did have schemes for Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, but there was no focus Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Then we had the Ujjwala scheme. Then we have schemes like providing toilets, Swachh Bharat. And the most prominent, I think there was one section of our women, we felt that they were not being so justly treated, and that's why the triple talaq that came in was a very major step in bringing not women of India, all women at one level. Secondly, giving women that power that they need to be able to have a say in their life. So I think right from the schemes of government till in the social sector or in the corporate sector, women coming in NGO sector, women coming in corporate sector, in banking, and internationally also, a lot of IT companies that we have abroad, you see a big component of women. So IT sector has opened a new field, and of course, as you just now said, soft power. The women of our country in the Bollywood sector and even in other regional films, they are doing very well. Like Priyanka Chopra has made a name for herself. So India, I think, was and is now re-emerging as a place where women have equal rights, there is complete gender parity, and wherever there are lacunas, there are special efforts to fill those gaps.
Neera, we've also seen that the Prime Minister, he tweeted today morning that we salute the spirit and accomplishments of our Nari Shakti. And the Prime Minister has also given up his social media accounts for this day to 7 women achievers to share their life journey. And this is a very interesting development when we look at how popular, how powerful social media has become of late. And the Prime Minister then reaching out to 7 women achievers who will be tweeting this entire day today about their achievements. Would you agree that this is an encouragement to a lot of women who strive to get forward despite the society being patriarchal, sometimes not getting the adequate encouragement and support that a woman needs when she tries to surge ahead and do things her way?
After doing the hardcore hardware push in terms of toilets, in terms of other, infrastructure facilities, Ujjwala, the Prime Minister has realized the importance of the social media. So the soft channel, that platform that he is opening out, I think he is also reaching out to women to tell them that this is another new channel. And I think this recognition to 7 achievers, and of course recently the Chandrayaan, you see, it was mainly the women behind the whole thing. So we have women achievers from every sector, the scientists, the doctors, and Prime Minister's move, I think, is a very novel and a very, very important channel, important move to create another platform for women to open out, for women to exercise their power to speak out, to say things, to be a part of the national dialogue through the social media.
Also, Neera, if we look at India in a civilizational context, we see that women characters have played a very important role in our texts, whether we look at 1,000 years back or 100 or 50 years back. We see strong women representation. Something even today like Satyajit Ray movies, if we see them carefully, there is this representation of a very strong woman who is the center of the plot. So we have these examples, these representations of strong Indian women. Do you feel this sets the platform for Indian women to go forward, especially when we also have, sometimes sad cases where we feel tragically women are failing to get their education and they are being held back by society. But these positive examples that are put forward time and again, whether it is soft power, it is a part of a government scheme, or it is the corporate sector, that is the crux of how women can surge forward.
In terms of heritage, if we look back, Indian ancient times were very empowered. We had women priests, we had women scholars, we had women rishis, we had women scientists, we had women in every aspect. Then, for whatever reasons, political and social reasons, there was a setback. But now they're surging ahead, and as you rightly said, the films have played a very important role. You mentioned Satyajit Ray, you see, even Shyam Benegal brought out Ankur in powerful characters of women. Then we had films like Mother India that actually set the trend. Women took the center stage and they refused to bow. But ancient times, I think Draupadi and Sita stand out as two powerful, and actually they are among the 5 Panchakanyas. We have this concept of 5 Kanyas: Sita, Mandodari, Draupadi, Ahilya and Tara. And these are from the 2 epics, who have taken very decisive actions, and these actions make them so powerful that they are revered. And in fact, Draupadi has temples to her all over South India. Sita, of course, is worshipped also. So we have this whole philosophy and integral heritage component of our system where women are important. But recently, this opening up of the global world has also, India has made sure that women in India are not lagging behind. So this whole opening out of the social media is one, and the women that stand out from film characters, from, novels on women written like Palace of Illusions, Mahabharati, etc. in different languages, So I think women today are in some advantageous position because the social media, the communication, IT sector has opened out new channels. So they are not sitting at home and, cribbing. They are going out and working. They are going out and taking a challenge. And there are sectors where women are deprived. There are sectors where women are not comfortable because of their gender and sex. But that's where we have to work hard. Everything doesn't happen in one day. The move has started, and it is like us who have achieved, who have done something, to take them along with us.
If we look at the sector of sports, we have had some incredible successes in sports as far as Indian women's sports people are concerned, and PV Sindhu, for example. And this is a success which is not just limited to India. It's a global success. We have Sania Mirza, women who have achieved the very pinnacle. They have gotten into the top international rankings, whether it is badminton, it is tennis. We have the cricket team.
Is so football.
This is also an exciting, happy time for India that we see women sporting cricket colours, the blue uniform, and women actually going out and claiming that fields that were thought of not as being typically a very female sport or a very female occupation. They are doing well. For example, PV Sindhu and others who were actually nurtured and encouraged by their own parents to follow their dreams. So how much of a role is the fact that your parents and society is also perhaps now understanding that a woman's role is not just limited to home. It extends maybe in every part of the society.
No profession, no sport has any gender to it. It's a sport and it's a profession. So, we had it in our mind that, this is female and this is male. But sports is not female or male. Sports is sports. I remember in 2007 celebrating Kasturba's birthday because there's a famous statement of Gandhi that I learned the lesson of non-violence from Kasturba. Because whenever there was a tiff, she would just keep quiet until I come around and listen to her view. So this whole thing. So what I'm trying to say that we did on that day international football championships. And so football, tennis, cricket, in this parents are playing an important role. besides parents, I think corporates are also now coming to realize that we need to promote women also. So that's why the cricket teams have come up. Otherwise, they would only be talking about men's sports. So all sectors, the sports has no gender. Another important sector in which we have opened out, which was considered male-only dominated, was the armed forces. And I think here also we need to realize how beautifully they are getting integrated and getting positions which were unthought of. Earlier they would just either be a doctor. So I think society, parents and education. And society and parents because of education. If parents are well educated, they are well aware. So they would teach their son and daughter on an equal footing. And that's very critical. And that's where we need to actually again go down to our roots and see whoever is left out, educate them. Make them aware that there is no difference between boy and girl.
So that is going back to our scheme, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Because education somewhere underlines the very development of your mind, and it is something which is gender neutral, whether you are a boy or you are a girl.
And it's an empowerment tool. Just give you a small definition of what is empowerment. E-M, power. E stands for exercise, M stands for my, and power. And where does power come from? Power comes from education, from skills, from being aware in society, of being aware of your own talents and nurturing your own talents. So that's where power comes from. So E-M-P-O-W-E-R. So exercising my power. And this is what education does for you.
And as we were talking, culturally also we have seen India has had a rich history, whether it is our freedom struggle, and we saw very prominent women freedom fighters. And politically also we have seen a lot of political leaders who have emerged, and they are women leaders in India. So, and a lot of people in the West have been surprised that a society which is regarded to be very patriarchal has actually had a lot of women political leaders.
In terms of politics, we have had women queens leading our country. Recently, we have had Jhansi Ki Rani, and we have had Suchitra Kriplani, and so many women who have come into the forefront, even post-partition. We have had very good women politicians and leaders. This is integral to us. What I personally feel is where in politics, the mainstreaming, the lacking comes in is that we are not winnable candidates. We don't have the financial strength. There I feel that educated women will make very good MPs in the Rajya Sabha. The government's new schemes are empowering women right from the panchayati level till now. But at the helm, we need more women in the parliament. And that's where we are very much lacking behind, because we stand very badly in terms of percentage of women in parliament. And I think the Rajya Sabha can give us a push.
This is also a trend globally. We have seen the US presidential elections on, and there is this constant theme going on that the US of all nations in the world has never had a woman president. Something which keeps coming up. And internationally also, if we look at Women's Day, we have seen how Google has today celebrated it by a beautiful doodle that they have come up with. This empowerment of women is not just an India issue, it's also a very global issue.
I would like to slightly differ from this, because I think in India we celebrate women round the year. We celebrate Navdurga, we celebrate Saraswati Puja, we celebrate Lakshmi Puja. Everywhere, for us, women is a symbol of wealth, women is a symbol of knowledge, women is a symbol of Shakti. So we are celebrating this new concept due to globalization that have come. It is good it's come because we are imbibing that also, because to be in tune with the world. So I think we are synergizing with the world in terms of the new concepts. Yes, Google has done good, not only Google, other corporates. You see, every ad that you will see today has some way or the other moved around women empowerment. But I feel happy because for us, it's everyday celebration. And today, of course, we especially thank the government, because the way they have brought on, and the Prime Minister, I think it's a very, very novel scheme. And I think more corporate leaders would do something like this, push women, and that will be a very, very happy day for us.
And we hope that in the coming years, every day would be a Women's Day and not just one day in the year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simran.
You were listening to a discussion on International Women's Day, Gender Equality and Women's Rights. The participants were Neera Mishra, expert on women issues, and Simran Sodhi, journalist. This program is produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website newsonair.com. You can also follow us on the News on Air app for updates. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.